Agents, you have 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Second, 2 out, Palmero over the head of Jenks. Uribe charges, throws, out! And the White Sox have won the World Series. Open, Chicago with the lead. Chicago Bulls have won their 6th NBA championship.
Under it, and to the middle with the 15, to the 20, breaks free of the 25, to the 30, to the outside, 40, midfield, 40, 30 to the coast, 20, 15, Hester 5, touchdown Bears!
Time in 6 seasons, it's one goal achieved. The Chicago Blackhawks win the Stanley Cup. A little bouncer slowly toward Bryant. He will glove it, throw to Rizzo. It's in time, and the Chicago Cubs win the World Series.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome to Shawn and Maya in the morning on this TGI Mickey Ficky Friday. It's the weekend, baby. And I'm your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra. Thanks for tuning in. If you're watching us on Facebook Live, well, then I guess you found us on Facebook. And if you're not following us on Facebook, what? What? Listen, go to Facebook, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the like button, and now you're following Sports Zone Chicago. Simple. All right, but wait, there's more. Wait, there's more. Uh-oh. Go to Shawn and Maya in the morning. Go to the show's page. Go to Shawn and Maya in the morning. Go to that page as well. Like that page. And now you're following Shawn and Maya in the morning. In addition to Sports Zone Chicago. You get it? Got it? Good. If you're watching us on our YouTube channel, excellent. And if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, for real? All right, listen. Go to YouTube. Type in Sports Zone Chicago. Click the subscribe button. Okay? Click the subscribe button. Also, click the notification button. That's the little bell. That's the little bell right next to it. And what that does is that'll let you know anytime a show from Sports Zone Chicago is going live. Now, if you're watching us on our mobile app, I like that kind of party, baby. And if you don't know, you better ask somebody. We have a mobile app. Where have you been? Listen, what are you doing? What are you doing? All right. So wherever you go get your apps from, do it. All right. Whether it's iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, Walmart, Kmart, 7-Eleven, Zayre, Zemsky, Macy, Montgomery Ward, Venture, Woolworth, wherever you get your apps from, you go there, you type in Sports Zone Chicago, you download it, you take it with you on the go. So not only do you get Shawn and Maya in the morning 3 days a week, not only do you get our other live shows throughout the week, not only are they archived there like they are on Facebook and YouTube, but I'll tell you what, we give you a slew. And I mean a slew of articles, thanks to my man Clarence, Council III. Big up to Clarence for keeping you abreast of all articles Chicago sports related. Now, if you are watching us on our Roku channel, now, baby, I like that kind of party. Yay. If you didn't know, you better ask somebody. Sports Zone Chicago, we have our own Roku channel, baby. What are you doing? How do you not know? How? Why? Why ain't you know? Why ain't you know? Come on now. Listen. Here's what you do. Here's what I need you to do. All right. Download Sports Zone Chicago's tile. All right. Put it right next to Hulu, Netflix, Paramount Plus, Stars. You've downloaded these. Showtime, you're getting ready for Billions. Billions is back. Bobby Axelrod is back, baby. So you're getting ready for Billions. I get it. But download Sports Zone Chicago's tile. Okay? Please do us that solid. Do us that favor. And listen, if you have more than one Roku device in the house, download it to all of the Roku devices in the house. Even if it's in the kids' room where you're probably not going to catch us or watch us in there, that's okay. That's okay. Just do it. Do it. Oh man, that's funny. Listen, what am I doing here? What's going on? What are you doing here? Here we go. So we have a phenomenal show, but we need you to get interactive with us. So whatever platform you're watching us on, whether it's Facebook, whether it's YouTube, whether it's our mobile app, leave a question or comment on that platform. You can't do it on Roku. You can't get interactive with us on Roku. So here's what you do: you watch us on the our Roku channel on the big screen, and then just text us on your phone. Simple. It's not that tough. But listen, we have a phenomenal show, but we need you to get interactive. And man, let's see who's on the text line already, because I know the text line is going to be jumping already. Because man, people were talking about my workout this morning, which was a son of a gun. It wasn't that tough of a workout. It was just that it was a sprint workout. I'm okay with it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying today was tough. Okay. But as my guy Junior says, another day, another victory. That's what we used to say when I lived in Tinley when I first got back to Chicago. My mom had bought a condo in Tinley Park. All right. Oh, some good tea. I make a great cup of tea. I make a great cup of green tea. Just the perfect amount of honey in there. I put some moringa powder in there. If you don't, trust me. Moringa, moringa powder. Moringa. Look up that. Look up moringa and the benefits that it has for you. You're going to want to start adding that powder to your coffee, your tea. Amazing health benefits. But I digress. So when I moved back to Chicago, my mom had just bought a condo in Tinley. So before I moved into the city, I stayed at home with her for about a year-ish. Before I was living on North Avenue and Halsted. North Avenue Orchard, actually. And so it was, so Junior and I was teaching. So Junior lived up north, and we would always go to was it Gold's Gym? Was it still a Gold's Gym? Put it in the comments, Junior. I don't remember. I thought it was a Gold's Gym. But anyway, we went so I would drive from Orland or from Tinley because it was open 24 hours, the gym. I would drive from Tinley to the Gold's Gym on Elston and like Lawrence, between Montrose and Lawrence, all before I had to be at work at 7:30. So we'd get there like 4 or 5 o'clock. We would, get our workout in. Remember those nice shoes I got you, Junior, the Bears color ones? And it was great because I get my workout in and then I drive right to school, which wasn't very 10, 15 minutes, but it was nice. And after every workout, me and Junior would give each other a pound, and he would always say, "Another day, another victory." So I tend to use that a lot. So anyway, I digress. But man, we got Cornelius Walls in the house. What up? 19 days into training camp. Yes, see you, boy. Armando Emeterio Lara Jr. He's in the house. And if he's in the house, it means Patty's not far behind. And if Patty's not far behind, guess what that means? That means that Armando Emeterio Lara the fourth and Jeremiah are in the house watching. Jeremiah and Dito, thank you for tuning in. You too, Junior. Sean Walls in the Mickey Ficky house. Yeah, we made it. TGI Mickey Ficky F, baby. Whew. It's been a week, and it's a short week. It's a short week. Lavette Lee, she is in the house. Good morning, Mama. How you doing? Cornelius, we said hi to you already. Brandon Schutz, good morning, Papa. Thanks for tuning in. Monica Lara, how are you? Thank you, Mama, for tuning in. I appreciate you. I appreciate you much. Elston and Lawrence. Okay. Elston, yeah, just south. Look at half a block south of Lawrence. Elston and Lawrence. Was it a Gold's Gym back then? I don't know, but man, we work out. We get our workout in. Like there's no way it was. I didn't care what time I had to get up. I was getting that workout in. I was getting that workout in, driving. Now, mind you, at 4 o'clock in the morning, there's not a lot of traffic on the expressway. All right. So driving I would take 57 to the Ryan turns into the Kennedy, you get off on, Costner, something like that. But anyway, 4 days a week, I want to say. Let's just say the atmosphere was kind of nice. The atmosphere was nice. The entertainers from the gentleman's club called the Admiral, which is literally right around the corner, walking distance from the gym. They'd be getting off right around that time. So they would go and they'd work out in the gym. They'd be in the gym with us. It'd be like maybe 20 people, and it was 2 floors. There'd be like 20 people total in there at that particular time. And me and Junior would get our workouts in and never got distracted. I mean, we enjoyed the atmosphere, but we were there to work out, and we always got it in. And afterwards, another day, another victory. Man, listen, we got a phenomenal show for you today, man. I am fired up. Emilio Bucks is going to join us at 9:30. We're going to talk baseball. These baseball teams, they're killing me, Smalls. They're killing me. Actually, they've been rendered irrelevant, so they don't kill me. But I was really annoyed with the White Sox yesterday. You know, Pedro Grifol, I've stuck up for you. I've gone to bat for you plenty of times. And keep making bad decisions. Keep making poor decisions. And it's frustrating. And I get it. You're a rookie head coach, a rookie manager, and they're going to happen. That doesn't fall on you. That falls on Rick Hahn. Because you know there's got to be a learning curve. He's never been in that hot seat before. He's never been a manager. But like our guy Bob Nightingale said, why did they not? Pardon me. Bob Nightingale said, why did Kansas City not hire him from within? They passed him over a couple of times. They obviously knew something that we didn't. Because if he was that, I don't want to say qualified, but that enticing, there we go. They would have signed him from within. But they didn't. So, yes, you made a bad call by not double stealing yesterday, and that's fine. But you got to have managers. I mean, you got to have bench coaches. Your bench coach, Charlie Montoyo, he should have said, hey, double steal. He's been a manager before. That has to happen. But I'll get into that later. So Emilio Bucks is going to join us at 9:30 talking baseball. Cubs just have to split. They have their split. They split with the Brew Crew. There's a lot of Sox fans that migrated north. Depending on where you live in the city, that could be like a hour ride, 50-minute ride, like an hour and a half ride, depending north or south side if you live. A lot of Cub fans up there. You heard of a lot of chants. Let's go Cubbies up there. Good following. Good crowd up there. Well, they used to call it Wrigley North. Until the Brewers won, then they called Wrigley, they called it Brewer Stadium South or something. Miller Park South. That's what it was. And at 10 o'clock, my guy, Zach Pearson. You said it, Armando Jr. You said it. This is the last month. Actually, there is football this month. Last month was the last month. But football begins this month. So it's not the last month without football. Last month, June was. We got football coming up. And I can't tell you how excited I am. We're going to talk to Zach Pearson from BearReport.com. See, this is getting annoying. I could move into the burbs. Okay. I got this Jamoke flying. Now, it's only a quarter mile. He's flying down the streets like he's in the city. Like I feel like going out there and like shooting his tires. And like, dude, chill. This is the burbs. It's not 159th. Okay, if you're zooming down 159th, I get it. I got you, Papa. I understand. Not a side street. Not a side street. Who are you trying to impress, fool? But I digress. But that's the lineup today, baby. It's going to be fun. It's going to be very entertaining. Emilio Bucks at 9:30 talking baseball with me, and Zach Pearson at 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock talking Bears. It's going to be, man, oh, man, oh, man, oh, man. What is it? It's the 7th. So what, 18 days? Woo, 2.5 weeks. I love it. I love it. I love it. It's going to be fun. Enjoy the ride, baby. Enjoy the ride. Well, listen, guys, you know how we do. The first segment of every show is called Top of the Morning.
It won't come just when you want it.
Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you.
Top of the morning topic. Yes, baby. What's we going to have first? What are we going to have first? Let me see. Like I have it set, but sometimes I'm like, maybe I'm not feeling it. No, I'm feeling it. We'll do it. We'll do it this way. The Cubs fall to the Brew Crew. The Milwaukee Brewers 6-5 yesterday. Marcus Stroman started for the Cubs. No decision. He went 5 innings, 4 hits, 4 earned runs, 4 walks, 6 punch outs. My man Cody Bellinger continuing to make himself more money for his next contract. He was 4 for 4 to the double, his 13th of the season. He also jacked his 8th homer of the season, driving in 3 RBIs, his 26th, 27th, and 28th RBIs of the season. Yan Gomes was 1 for 4. He hit his 8th homer of the year, driving in his 26th and 27th runs of the season. Frustrating for the Cubs. They split. They had a chance to win. They could have got one more of those games that they lost. Would have taken that series 3-1, but they split. You cannot be upset with a split, but when you're this far back in the standings, you got to take everything you can at this stage of the game. This is why it's so important at the beginning of the year when games are lost. You're like, it's 162. Look, I understand that. However, those 162 games, it goes 150, 120, 90, 60, 40. And next thing you know, like, oh, snap, some of those games that we took for granted and didn't fight and compete at the end came back to bite us in the butt. So next top of the morning topic, will the Cubs open up a 3-game set in the Boogie Down Bronx against the Bronx Bombers? Jameson Taillon, he's on a bump tonight. He's 2-6 with a 6.93 ERA. He's going against Carlos Rodon, my man, former Chicago White Sox, who's making his season debut. He's making it in July, the beginning of July. Wow. That, my friends, is insane. 6:05 first pitch. It's on the Marquee Network on the TV side and on 670 AM on the radio side. My guy, Carlos Rodon. The White Sox had a twin billing yesterday at home, and they lose game 1 of the doubleheader to the Toronto Blue Jays 6-2. Lance Lynn, he started the game, got a no decision. He is upping his trade value big time. He went 7 innings, 1 hit of scoreless baseball, 1 walk, 11 punch outs. Oscar Colas was 1 for 4 with a double, his 3rd, driving in his 8th RBI of the year. And that was a rocket, too. That was, I think they said that was 112 miles an hour off the bat, exit velocity. Like, I don't really care about that stuff, but it sounds good. I just care about it to see how hard a guy hit it. Like, it's not necessary for me. But since you're giving me how hard, now you can compare. And it sounded great. When we were watching the game yesterday, and it sounded like, I mean, it was, I thought he was going to get a triple out of it. It went to the corner in right field. But He hit that sucker so hard, it bounced around, and he wasn't even out of the box, basically. And that thing was heading toward the corner. That's how hard he hit that sucker, man. That was, when you're at a game and you hear the crack of a bat, there's a certain sound it has. And that, if he didn't elevated it, that was a home run. If he would have elevated it at all, that was a home run. But I digress. The Sox lose it by giving up 6 runs in the top of the 11th. If you follow me on Facebook, which you should, I posted this and I was livid. I want to say top of the 10th, was it? Yeah. Top of the 10th. All right. Lou Bob was up to bat. TA made the last out. TA was on second. Lou Bob was on first. Nobody out. First and second, nobody out, and they don't double steal. They don't double steal. I texted, I posted it, I tweeted it. Why did you not double steal? It made all the sense in the world. Okay? If you double steal, you can only throw one guy out. Chances are you're going to go to third. It's a little shorter throw for the catcher. So if you get Tim Anderson out, okay, he's out at third. There's one out, but there's still a runner in the scoring position. That's Lou Bob on second. Lou Bob both have speed. Lou Bob and TA both have speed. If you don't throw out Tim Anderson on a double steal, well, now you got a runner at third. And a wild pitch, a pass ball, a well-placed bunt brings the run home for the game winner. But they chose not to double steal. I was livid. And Milwaukee went on to score 6 times in the top of the 11th. And as soon as they got out of that inning without the White Sox scoring, I told my mom, I said, "Ma, they're going to lose." I said they're going to put up a big crooked number in this top of the 11th. Watch. And with 5 singles, 6 singles in a row, unbelievable. Unfreaking believable. This team, I'll tell you. So they lose game 1. Like, okay, well, we really have to buckle down. And they did. But guess what? Game 2, they lose again. They lose to the Jays 5-4 this time. Schultz, he got the start. No decision. It was a bullpen game. No decision, 4 innings, 11 hits in 4 innings. Are you kidding me? 3 earned runs and a K. Andrew Benintendi, he's 2 for 4 with a double, his 23rd. TA, he was 1 for 4, driving in his 13th RBI. And Eloy, hi, Mom. He is 1 for 3, hitting his 12th homer of the year, driving in his 39th and 40th runs of the season. The White Sox are 15 games under 500. That is the worst. This is their season worst. They were 14. That was the worst before yesterday. 15 games under 500. Unbelievable. Well, the White Sox, before the All-Star break, they host a 3-game set against the Cardinals. On the south side, Dylan Cease is on the bump today. He gets to start for the good guys. He's 3-4 with a 4.10 ERA going against Montgomery, who's 6-7 with a 6.28 ERA. First pitch is 7:10 tonight. That game is on NBC Sports Chicago on the television side. You can catch it on AM 1000 on the radio side. The White Sox are 15 games under 500, a season worst. You know, this whole scenario, and we're going to talk to Emilio Bucks in a few moments, how frustrating it is, how embarrassing it is to be a Sox fan. How embarrassing. And they're my team. I am going to support them, no problem. But I was going to wear my White Sox hat today too, boy. I was going to wear it today, and I was like, you know what? Bump them. They piss me off. No double steal. That set me off. So I'm like, no, I'm going to wear my Bears hat. I'm wearing positive vibes. And it got me fired up because it's not just the biggest thing for me is this. This is the biggest thing for me. You have an abundance of talent. An abundance of talent. There's two things that are wrong with this talent, with this situation. One, the front office will not stop meddling in these affairs. The front office wants to be the shot callers, big ballers, 20-inch blades on the Impalas. But you're not baseball people. You haven't played the game. You're executives. Kenny, yeah, he got one. He caught lightning in a bottle. God bless him. But Rick Hahn's not a baseball guy. They're making poor decisions. They want all the decisions to be made up in the front office and not by the manager. And two, the health. The health of these players is horrible. They're soft. Everyone's getting hurt. I've never seen such a compilation of some sissy-ass people who get hurt over the easiest thing. I'm on the 10-day IL for vaginal soreness. Get the hell out of here. You piss me off. You know, the mentality of Cal Ripken, Mr. Iron Man, those days are long gone. And it's frustrating because Kobe had it right, Mike had it right, Larry Magic had it right. What if that day there's someone in the stands who saved their money for this one game? If you go to a Sox game, that shit ain't cheap. $30 a park for starters. If you're in the lower level, we're talking $25, $30 for a seat. So you're two people, 30, 60, plus the parking, 90. Then you got to eat. That shit ain't cheap. We're talking a good $50. So we're talking $150 minimum for two people to go to a Sox game. And depending on your financial situation, it could be a little more than you may be able to afford in your household. So when superstars say, hey, listen, I have to play today because there's one kid out there, there's one fan out there that saved their money to come see me play today. They won't be here tomorrow. They won't be here next week. They can't afford it. They have other real life situations they got to deal with. My ass is going to play. Where's that mentality? Where is that mentality gone? Because it damn sure isn't pervasive throughout Major League Baseball. Now with load management and days off. Days off? You play baseball. What the fridge crackers are you doing? What is so stressful in playing baseball that you need a day off after 5 days in a row? How about you talk to some people who work 6-7 days a week? But I can't perform. It's 4 days in a row. I need a day off. What? You stand at your position majority of the game. You got me fired up now. My next guest, I know he's going to get me fired up too, man. Especially talking about the Southsiders and the Northsiders. He's going to join us right after the break. It's my man, Emilio Bucks. He's from the Plunked podcast on Chicago Clubhouse Network. We're going to get into it, baby. We're going to get into it. Because I'm fired up. It's a Friday. I had a great workout. Had a great day of trading, great week of trading this week. Great workouts on Wednesday. Great workout today. Beautiful, nice, cool weather in the Chi. Sunny. Look at a few clouds, but sunny as a son of a gun out there. It's going to be nice. Mid to high 70s. Couldn't be any nicer. So I'm fired up. And I hope my next guest is fired up too. We're going to talk to him right after this break, man. Emilio Bucks coming up next. Keep it locked right here. Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago.
How do you take care of your mind health?
For my mental health, I meditate in the mornings.
I have my dogs. They're the best.
I just find ways that help me just relax.
Finding things that make me happy, like being close to my family.
I meditate a lot and read books.
I have hobbies outside of the game. I'm able to switch off. I'm able to turn my brain off from the game of basketball.
Your mind health matters.
Your mind health matters.
Yeah, hello. I'm really not sure if this is what you all do, but I really don't have anywhere else to turn.
Hi. I don't even know why I'm calling right now. I'm sorry. My thoughts are going a mile a minute.
My kids are out of state. My buddies from the army are all gone now. I'm really alone.
I left the service last year. My mom just passed away a few months ago. I miss so much time with her. I keep getting calls about the bills, and I'm trying to get a job, but I feel so stuck.
Okay, ma'am. I'm glad you called.
Okay, sir. Let's stay on the line and walk through some things.
Thanks.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
Swinging a fly ball out into medium depth right. Colas getting behind it. He'll make the catch. Chapman's going to tag. And head to third. The throw there is in time. Colas nails Chapman.
Junior with a man aboard. First pitch swinging to Tim. Jump throw. Remelart's turn, and it's two. Nicely done by T.
And he swings and hits a deep drive to right. It is gone. Two-run homer, Eloy Jimenez. Well, they didn't tell him.
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. Those clips courtesy of NBC Sports Chicago. Those are the good guys acting not so good. Game 2 of the sweep. Anyway, my next guest is a good friend of the program. You've seen him on here plenty of times. You know, he's always welcome here on Sports Zone Chicago. He's from the Plunked podcast. Plunked at Plunked Chicago. It's on the Chicago Clubhouse Network. You can check him out on Twitter at ebucks76. Guys, let's welcome back to Shawn and Maya, my guy, Emilio Bucks. Emilio, what's up, Papa? How are you?
Well, good morning, Shawn. What's going on, brother?
Man, how you doing?
Oh, I went ahead and put the Sox hat on anyways.
It's okay. It's okay.
I know you couldn't bring yourself to put it on today. I understand totally.
Yeah, I couldn't do it, Papa. I was just so mad at him yesterday. I was pissed off. I was cussing at him.
I watched so much Sox baseball yesterday to just be so disappointed.
And dude, as soon as I'm telling you, so we're watching the game, and the announcers were saying, well, they'll probably walk Lewis Robert. They don't want to deal with him. But because that was the 10th, if I'm not mistaken, the bottom of the 10th. Like they're probably going to walk Lewis Robert. They don't want to deal with him. I'm like, all right, double steal. That's just a given. Double steal. Because I don't think you're going to ask Eloy to bunt. All right, because I know that's asking a whole lot of stuff that he can't do.
Right.
Which is a whole nother conversation. But you're a major leaguer, don't know how to bunt. But I digress. And I'm like, why aren't they stealing? Why aren't they stealing? I should have been first pitch. That should have been first pitch. I don't give a shit what the metrics say. I don't give a shit. I'll still have a runner in scoring position. Be aggressive. Be aggressive. All right? Because if you don't throw out TA, then you had two fast dudes on a base pass, TA and Lou Bob. If you don't get TA, now you got to run in a third, a wild pitch, a pass ball. Dude, talk to me about that. And were you expecting that to double steal, or what were your thoughts about that? Did you want them to double steal? And if yes or no, and then when they didn't, how did you feel at that point?
What I see, especially in these extra inning games, is a lack of aggressiveness, a lack of awareness. The Sox can never get that guy over who's on second. I don't know what the stats are, but I don't know what we look like in extra inning games, but it can't be good.
No, it's not.
It can't be good. They never get that guy over from second. And it's a lack of awareness. And I got to look at the manager. I got to look at Pedro Grifol on this one. A lack of aggressiveness on the base path. Just a lack of strategy by Pedro is constantly biting us in the ass. He puts in pinch runners in the 7th inning and pulls Eloy. This didn't happen yesterday, but I've seen him put pinch runners in trying to win the game in the 7th inning. It's like, bro, there's 9 innings to this game. You're pulling out one of your best hitters in Eloy to pinch run for him, and it's only the 7th inning, and now he's missing an at-bat.
Yeah.
It's just a lack of awareness by the manager.
So let me ask you this, though, Emilio. How much is it on him because he's a rookie manager? I don't give a damn what job you start, new position you start. There's going to be a learning curve. To me, this falls directly on the shoulders, directly in the lap of Rick Hahn because of his refusal to get a veteran manager, his refusal to hire Ozzie, his refusal to even interview Bochy, his refusal to look at Joe Madden, his refusal to look at Joe Girardi, his refusal to get a World Series winning manager here with a team that's World Series ready.
What the hell is his problem? We went from having a manager in Tony La Russa who was almost too experienced, if that's possible.
Way overqualified for this.
Way overqualified, way over experienced, to a guy who had never sat the seat before. It's like, why didn't they find the middle somewhere? Yes, this does fall on Rick Hahn. He picked Pedro, but Pedro's got a staff of guys.
Charlie Montoya should have been one.
Charlie Montoya, he's a former skipper.
Manager.
He should know.
Should have been run. First pitch. Don't waste time. Don't, you know what I'm saying? Or second pitch. Maybe first pitch is coming with a fastball, so the ball's going to get there a split second sooner. Maybe second pitch is going to throw a breaking ball. Go on the second pitch. Assume it's a breaking ball to give us an extra half a step or something with these guys. What, dude? I was so livid. I'm telling you. I wish I had a direct number to the dugout.
Dugout.
Run these jokers. Run them, man.
And then you saw what happened, and then they put up a big crooked number in the 11th.
Aaron was a bummer yesterday. That's for damn sure.
And he's got the perfect last name.
Man.
Using Aaron Bummer in a high leverage situation, you know what's going to happen. And
he'd been good. He'd been good, but it wasn't right. Like when they didn't do that and he came out, it's set up for a big inning. Like, okay, we had runners on first and second, nobody out, we can't score. Yeah, we're gonna lose.
You already knew.
Yep.
You already
Yep.
knew.
So
It's quite unfortunate. I mean, we're seeing a team that's constantly underachieving, just not a smart playing baseball team, dating back to last year and even the year before. I'm at a loss for words of how disappointing this ball club is. The amount of talent that this team has, and you see it in spurts. You see it in spurts of how talented this team is and what they're capable of, but they just cannot put it together on any sort of consistent basis. You had a great showing by Lance Lynn yesterday.
big time.
Gave up 1 hit, no runs, and you wasted on, not being aggressive in the 10th inning. That 10th inning, that runner on the base path, that's supposed to benefit the home team a little bit more because they can walk it off with that. And they couldn't get one stinking run.
Dude, when they held them in the top of the 10th, I'm like, yes. I said it. I was like, we got to score here. And then when I heard
because you knew if
up,
they didn't do it in the 10th, it was not going to happen.
And then I remember Tim had made the last. Oh, okay. So Tim Anderson's on second. It means Lou Bob's up next. I'm like, we have to do it right here. We have to, otherwise, game set match.
Perfect. We're in the heart of the lineup.
Mm-hmm.
We got all the speedy guys on base. Oh, you're gonna walk Lou Bob? Cool. We got 2 speedy guys on base. And what happens? Nothing. A big fat nothing.
So people have talked about, Emilio. They've talked about trading people, being sellers at the deadline. Who the hell are people going to want on our team? Now, Lance Lynn helped himself yesterday. He's continuing to help himself with a 7-inning 1-hit performance. But who are people going to want? Do you think they're going to want to take Yo-Yo's contract? No.
No.
You're going to want to take TA? No. I mean, TA, as good as he is, I mean, he's just having a bad year, but it's a bad year. Eloy, I mean, Dylan Cease is having a down year by his standards. How many people want Giolito? Who the hell are people? Who can we trade that people are going to say, okay, we'll give you a bag of baseballs for?
Bag of baseball. Well, I think if anybody is tradable on this team, I would look at the pitching staff. Obviously, Giolito is tradable. He's having a pretty good year, and everybody needs pitching, especially going into the postseason. So Giolito, Kendall Graveman is definitely tradable.
Closer, yeah, because there's only 3 untouchables, and that's Lou Bob, Cease, and Vaughn. In my opinion, those are the only untouchables on this team. You drafted, you paid a hefty price for Lou Bob, and he's showing you. This dude is showing you, and he's not even giving me full effort, and he's showing you what a freaking stud he is. And
it's interesting. Ever since he got benched in that game, he's been
something happened. Holy shit! Whoa, maybe a little tough love is what these people need. Crazy.
See what happens when you hold players accountable?
Stop it, Emilio! Stop it!
See what happens?
If you do that, Emilio, that means we're going to have Yo-Yo, Eloy, and Lou Bob playing at an MVP level. We can't have that.
And Tim.
Better. We can't have that. All 4 of them playing at an MVP level in the same season. Stop it.
They just don't have the guts to perform tough love and to discipline these players that they sorely needed. Like Tony La Russa didn't discipline him. Now Pedro isn't disciplining him. And that was what was missing from that 2020 squad.
Bingo.
That's the one thing that was missing, was just a little bit more discipline to bring everything together. And what do we have? We got a lot of vaginal soreness, as you mentioned. A lot of just not smart. I don't want to call anybody dumb or stupid, but just not smart baseball.
Low baseball
plays.
IQs. Low baseball IQ.
No, low baseball IQ. Low baseball IQ on the base path, in different hitting situations. And so much of that, I tend to look at the manager on it. What happened to all of these things that Pedro was supposed to instill?
We're going to kick your ass. Remember that one? We're going to come every day. We're going to kick your ass. Well, you not running when the runners on first and second, nobody out in the 10th inning is not trying to kick someone's ass. That's hoping to, yeah. And they turn around and they thank you, sir. May I have another? Thank you, sir. May I have another? Is what they did to us. That was unbelievable. So now, talk to me about Benintendi. How you liking him?
Benintendi has been worth the money.
Okay.
I'll say that. And as far as him being the highest paid signing ever, that's just a matter of, the timing and the pay scale where we are right now in 2023. You know what I mean? So I never have an issue with what guys are getting paid. Hey, negotiate your contract and get as much as you can get. I'm not mad at anybody for getting paid on any level, and especially sports. He's leading the team in batting average, which is not what you would have expected. Leading with a 282 average. He's a professional. He comes to play. He comes to work hard every day. He's been great in left field. He's tied up that left field position quite well, much better than Eloy could have ever done. Yep. I like what Benintendi's done. He's a pro. He's a pro, and he comes to play every day, unlike some of his teammates.
Guys, we're joined by Emilio Bucks from the Plunked Podcast, talking White Sox baseball here on Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. Yeah, I didn't want to tell you how I felt about it, but I like him. I like him a lot. I hope they keep him. This is a guy because he brings a winning mentality. He brings a good business-like approach. He prepares for the game very, very well. You can tell by his at bats. And it's great that we need someone like that. Now that Jose Abreu's gone, we need a guy that, that people that play youngsters can look up to and say, okay, I see this guy coming to work, putting in the work every single freaking day.
Absolutely.
Right? That's what they need to see. They need to see more guys like that. And I don't know where they're going to get them. Talk to me about the rest of the pitching staff. And you said that might be one to go on. What about the starters? I mean, Lance Lynn might be able to flip him because he's doing well. What about Kopech?
Kopech, I think that he is still kind of playing under his possible level. He lacks consistency. You see a game or two where, like, okay, this is the Kopech that we signed up.
Mm-hmm.
This is the guy that we signed up. But then he goes out and can barely get through 4 innings the next game.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how valuable he's going to be in the postseason to anybody. I think him and Cease are the only ones we have under contract for sure going into next season, I believe. And I believe that it's a case where Kopech is probably more valuable to the White Sox than he is to a contending team as far as trade bait goes. Just my opinion on that. But he's got some things to work out. He's got to be able to stay healthy. There we go again with that vaginal soreness again that you mentioned earlier. He's just got to be able to stay healthy. And I like what he gives us more than not. But I don't know if a team is going to be willing to take a chance on him going into the postseason. I just don't quite see it.
I was on a Facebook discussion. It wasn't and I'm glad. I don't like when people start getting crazy and start name calling. Come on, dude, I'm not 12 anymore. All right. But someone said, well, why don't you just trade him for prospects? I'm like, prospects? I'm like, Yoel Moncada was the number 1 prospect in minor league baseball a few years ago. And after he left and came to the bigs, Eloy was one of the top prospects. I was like, Luba was one of the top prospects. I'm like, prospects aren't always gonna hit. How many first overall picks in the draft turn out to be studs? This isn't the NFL. This isn't the NBA.
Right.
I mean, you get your guys late in the first round, second round, third round, sixth round, eighth round, supplemental draft, supplemental draft. I mean, you got neighborhood tryouts. This is where you get all your guys, not necessarily in the first round for prospects, and it's frustrating, because I still think this can be fixed, but it's got to change at the managerial level. It has to, and I don't think they're going to do it. And that's why it won't get fixed. Because if you brought in a manager, so at the end of the season, and it sucks because we're not going to win the division by any stretch, even though we're only 8 games now back.
No,
you bring in a guy who has a World Series pedigree. Players will listen. You bring in a guy, the Sox are 7.5. Okay, you bring in a guy who holds players accountable. Okay, when he talks, people listen. Like E.F. Hutton, remember that old commercial?
Oh yeah.
When he talks, they listen. Right?
Yeah.
You bring in a guy like that, you can save this thing. And you got to tell him, listen. I understand that a lot of athletes today are a little softer, but if you come out as a manager and say, "Hey, listen, if you have thin skin, get out. I am not going to hold back. You're a grown-ass man. You're 23. You're 25. You're 27, 29, 30 years old. All right? If me getting in your face telling you played like shit today hurts your feelings and you need a day off,
sit
all right,
down.
you might need to pursue another career.
Yeah.
All right? Because I'm going to tell you, this is how I talk to my players. I need you to understand it in no uncertain terms. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm going to say in the media, you know what? He had a bad game today. They need that type of manager. And for whatever reason, well, we know the reason. It's all about ego. It's all about ego. All right. Tony Russo hired. That was Jerry flexing his muscle and his ego because it's my toy and I can do what the hell I want. And then it was Rick Hahn not hiring any World Series champion managers because it was his ego. He wants to be the golden child. Like everybody, all the other general GMs in baseball, they want to be the golden child now, not the managers anymore. It's ego, man. That's what's bringing this team down. And when people allow their egos to take over, this is what happens because you get a talented team who and Ozzie Jr. posted on my posted on my thread yesterday. He's like, there were just a bunch of individuals. Right. I mean, look at Lubob.
Yeah.
Dude, how many times have you seen, Emilio, Lubob take one out, and then the next 3 at bats just look like he's someone they picked up off the street. Yeah, head not staying down, pulling out his head all over. It happens far too often, and that to me just shows you how you're not obsessed with the process, and that to me is the problem. You must be obsessed with the process because the results will show. All right, the results will show. Hey, if you strike out after a 9-10 pitch at bat, no problem. All right, you made that son of a bitch work.
Yeah.
Okay, but that's a professional at bat. When you go out 1, 2, 3, all they do is start it down the way and it keeps going down the way. He throws the same pitch 3 times in a row. You swing at the same pitch 3 times in a row and miss. Really?
Tim Anderson,
Eloy Jimenez.
Yeah.
Yo Moncada when he's healthy. Lubob when he's not hitting homers. So
it's either homer or nothing.
It's all or bust. What can they do? Do you think this is going to change at all? Or is we wasted another July, August, and some of September? Do we have to continue to watch this nonsense? Well, actually, no, we don't know because 18 days is training camp.
And we're going to flip that switch awfully fast in Chicago.
Oh man,
I have a feeling. We are.
Dude, they were talking about the Bears the other day. They said Justin Fields, Chase Claypool, Darnell Mooney, they're all at the Drake concert. People are tweeting that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ejax was there too. I was like, man, we're fiending for some Bears news. So it's frustrating. But what about the North Side? Let's talk about those guys. Cody Bellinger's making him a lot of money. His contract keeps going up by a couple million every game.
Who's this?
About Cody Bellinger.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think Cody Bellinger has been a pleasant surprise for the Cubs. I saw him get 4 hits yesterday.
4 for 4.
Yeah, 4 for 4 yesterday.
Double and a homer. Double and a
Yeah,
dinger.
he's, and I just feel like, wow, it's a shame that they aren't going to keep him. I know they have plans for Pete Crow Armstrong
Yep.
to come play center. And I'm like, well, they still need a first baseman.
Yeah.
Why not put Bellinger at first base?
He's played there before too.
I think it's, he's been one of the bright spots of the North Side guys this year. Great to see it. Former MVP, had some really, really down years.
Injury
Was
caused that.
hitting
Yeah.
sub 200 all of last season, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And he's one of the best hitters and best players and best athletes on this Cubs team. And he can hit for power, which the Cubs sorely need.
As evidenced by by his by yesterday.
Yeah.
And this is a guy who's very unassuming. He's not loud, he's not flashy, he just gets the job done. He's a professional hitter. All right. His 8th homer of the season. He would have had more, but he was injured. Okay,
Yeah.
part of this season. All right, his 13th double. All right, he's driven in 28 runs. I mean, he's driven in 28 runs, and he's missed a good portion of the season.
And limited playing time. Yeah. So he's been one of the brighter spots of that team this year. Some other guys haven't quite been what they've hoped. And like, I'm still waiting for Seiya Suzuki to have like a really break out.
Yeah, nice stretch.
Yeah.
Get hot a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Get hot a little bit. That's what we need. We need, or Cub fans need, because I don't really need it, but the Cub fans need him to get hot.
Yeah.
All right. They need him to get hot a little bit. Like, I'm waiting for this all this discipline. Like, all the Japanese players we've seen to this point are very disciplined. At the plate, good at bats, deep in counts. They're not chasing. And when he's healthy, I haven't seen that as consistently as I would have liked.
Absolutely.
Not that I'm as intent on watching Cub games as I am Sox, but just seeing the highlights and looking at box scores and catching, like, man, he's got to do a much better job. There's a couple guys. Talk to me about Marcus Stroman, though. He's said he's not pitching in the All-Star game. All right. Cubs probably aren't going to keep him. All right. Your thoughts? Would this be a guy? Would it be a good guy at the top of the rotation for the Cubs in the upcoming years?
It's one of those things where, at 32 years old, he's due for probably what is his final big payday.
Yeah.
And the Cubs, they're in a mode where they're looking to win. I won't say they're in win now mode, but I would say by next season, they're probably win now. And who would be better at the top of the rotation than the Stro Show? It's quite unfortunate that the Cubs have just outright refused to engage in extension talks with him. I don't know what the hell they're doing. I don't, these executives, they got Jerry Krause syndrome where they just want so much damn credit for everything.
They do. Remember, they're the Golden Boys now. Remember, they had, I don't know how much they paid it. Like, well, managers are only equal 1 or 2 or 3 wins per season. So you don't really need them. We can only give that, but it's us. It's us, the general managers, who are the most important people in the organization now. And that shit just don't fly with me, dude. Because you're not on the field making calls. If you're not on the field, in the dugout, getting a feel for the game and making decisions based off the field, not off of the stats. You can use the stats. You can use the metrics, but you got to go off of feel, off of your years in the big leagues or your years in baseball. Say, yeah, you know what? I know he doesn't hit well, but this guy's hit well against this guy that's pitching, but he's got a good. He's hot right now. This guy's hot. I'll let him bat. You know what I mean? Stuff like that, as opposed to, well, he's only batting 184 against him. No way. No. That's what frustrates me. All these nerd boys who've never played and picked up a ball, probably hurt themselves trying to throw it. And they're making decisions now. And it's frustrating the hell out of me. It's in most sports, but especially baseball.
Yeah. And you've seen guys like Theo Epstein come in and make a difference in Boston and then in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
And and that leads to this myth of the GM being the most important thing on the team, and it's just not true. They're not the ones suiting up. They're not the ones on the field watching the game, in the game. They're not the one making decisions during the game, on the fly decisions during the game. They're supposed to hire a guy
to do that.
To do that. That's what the
Jesus,
manager's for.
crazy. That's his job.
Supposed to hire a guy to do that, not think that they could do that themselves or think that they're the most important guy in the room. And you see it on the south side. You're seeing it on the north side. It's just a shame, and then you see it in places like New York with the Mets, where you got a guy who's spending all of this money, and and the Mets are underperforming. You know what I mean? It's you got to have the right mixture of guys. And going back to the Sox really quick, you mentioned that you just got a bunch of good players, but not a team. And I feel like that's the manager that's supposed to make that gel. And, I don't have a huge problem with David Ross, but I don't think he's the guy that's going to take the Cubs to the next level. I don't think anybody believes that. And it's just a matter of, well, what is Jed Hoyer going to do next? And, it's just way too much. I mean, these GMs, they get all of this media coverage now. They're calling in to the score now, and it's just way too much involvement with them. They're like Suge Knight of baseball. They're all trying to be all in the videos and taking over. It's unfortunate, and it takes too much attention away from the guys who truly matter, which are the managers and the players.
Emilio, great stuff, Papa. I appreciate it. Love our conversation. Me and you could talk baseball for hours.
Yeah,
but do me a favor before we let you go. Let everybody know where they can find you and your work online.
You can catch me on this Sunday at 8:05 p.m. Central Time on the Chicago Clubhouse Network. Our podcast Plunked is one of the shows that we do, and you can catch me on Twitter, Plunked Chicago, or at eBuck76.
Why are you doing the TBS time? You told me last year, and I don't remember. Why are you doing like at 8:05 Eastern?
That's just an ode to the old school. It really goes back to my love of NWA wrestling.
Oh, and they're on TNT and TBS.
5:05 Saturday evening start time. So I brought that back, and we do an 8:05 start time.
Okay, all right, I like it, man. I like it. Hey, we'll be in touch
back
soon.
in the day, the TBS Superstation, baby. That's where it
was. Yes, it was. I was thinking about going to the game tomorrow to get that Lou Bob bobblehead. I don't know. If I do go, I'm walking in and walking right out. I'm out.
and big ups. We didn't get a chance to talk about it, but big ups to Lou Bob for making the first All-Star game. He's sitting at 25 homers, which is I think like 12 over his
previous career high.
Previous high. He's still got some work to be done. Man, if you just got him in the right hands, got
him focused, dude. He'd be over 30 right now. If you just got him focused, he'd be over 30 by the All-Star break. That would be insane.
Ozzy.
That's what we need him.
Ozzy.
Don't get me started.
When I hear you talk, I hear Ozzy. Ozzy would have been perfect.
Hey, Bubba, you have a great weekend, all right? We'll be in touch soon.
Brother.
All right now.
Take care.
Guys, that's Emilio Bucks in the Plunk Podcast. We're going to take a really quick break, and on the other side of the break, we're going to switch gears and talk baseball. Get out, Chihuahua. We're talking football, baby. I'm fired up. My man Zach Pearson is ready. He's in the dugout. He's like, put me in, coach. I'm ready to play. Man, I'm fired up, man. 18 days away before they report to camp on my birthday, July 25th. So please feel free to send a birthday. I'm not going to listen. I know this is completely off topic. Why the fuck would people give you their Cash App for their birthday? Here's my Cash App. Send me money. You're a grown-ass man. You're a grown-ass woman. Make your own damn money. Come on. Now, if it's a gift card, okay, cool. Now a gift card is the same, is for all intents and purposes is cash, or just don't send a grown-ass person cash. You're 28 years old. You're 30 years old. I'm not giving you $30 for it. I'm not sending anybody else $30 for your birthday. Don't give me cash for my birthday. What are you, my uncle? Seinfeld reference for all my Seinfeld freaks. Hey, quick break. And then our guy, Zach Pearson, talking Bears, because I'll tell you what, I am fired up, baby. Fired the freak up about this season. I'm going to talk to him about this, about the position battle, but more importantly, about that edge rusher position. Can we kind of get by? Are we going to do something? What are we going to do? What are we going to do? We're going to talk to Zach on the other side. Keep it locked here. Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago.
Off the fake. Fields against the grain. Finds Jesse James. Field. With time. Delivers down the field. Fake one way. Fields stumbling. Trying to cut it back. Justin Fields making magic happen. There goes Fields. Touchdown.
How do you take care of your mind health?
For my mental health, I meditate in the mornings.
I have my dogs. They're the best.
I just find ways that help me just relax.
Finding things that make me happy, like being close to my family.
I meditate a lot and read books.
I have hobbies outside of the game. I'm able to switch off. I'm able to turn my brain off from the game of basketball.
Your mind health matters.
Your mind health matters.
Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
Chicago began at their 25 at the 19 of Miami, 1st and 10, and here goes Phillips chasing the quarterback. Come in again with a block and a touchdown. Big play, Fields, a run for 17. Back he goes. Here comes Chubb. There goes the ball. Touchdown, Mooney. What a Jones the block at the left tackle. Time for Fields. Now he'll accelerate and get the first down and break tackles, and he's off to the races. Oh, he got a terrific block down there by Mooney. He's in. He's got him. That's 2 points. Montgomery with Blasingame. 1st and goal. The fake and a good one to the end zone. Komet, touchdown. His second today.
The hair on my arms is standing up. Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. Those clips courtesy of CBS. Those are the Bears, baby. Woo, Charlie, don't get me started. I'm fired up. I like it. I like this kind of party, baby. I like it a lot. Listen, my next guest, man, he's a great friend of the program. He covers the Bears for BearReport.com. You can find him on Twitter at Zach with a K, Z-A-C-K, _ Pearson. Guys, let's welcome back to Shawn and Maya, our guy, Zach Pearson. Zach, Papa, good morning. How we doing?
I'm doing good, man. How you doing?
Dude, I'm fired up, dude. Every time I see highlights, bro, and you see the throw to Darnell Mooney, who, by the way, looks like he found the weight room. Thank you very much. What a little off season. One good off season will do for you. Got a little meat in his pecs and his arms. Like, oh, you're a little thicker, son. Okay. I like it. That throw to Mooney. That throw to Komet. Man, there were just so many throws. A lot of throws that he made last year just wasn't consistent. Either bad route running or he didn't have time. But I'm excited, dude. I am excited. Talk to me about 18 days from now. How excited are you going to be going to cover this team? Because there's a lot of expectations from a lot of people and a lot of people who are in the know. Because trust me, it's not so many of the bloggers and everything. It's the coaches. It's the players. They're the ones saying, oh, shit, you better watch out. This Bears team is going to surprise a lot of people.
Yeah, there's definitely like a different level of excitement compared to last year. And, when I say that, it's not hard because last year I think players kind of realized what the plan was. When you trade away Robert Quinn, when you trade away Roquan Smith at the deadline, it's kind of, quote unquote, waving the white flag. Obviously, the players aren't going out there and trying to lose, but it was year one of a rebuild. Everyone kind of saw it coming. They were just left with some bad contracts. They were, Ryan Pace, didn't really put him in a great position. Now, you even talk to the veterans like, Eddie Jackson, even a guy like Tremaine Edmonds, who wasn't even here last year. He said to us, it's kind of a different feel. There's an excitement around the building. A lot of that is the quarterback position. A lot of that's the defense, the new faces on the defense. The rookie draft class is getting a lot of hype, and rightfully so. It's been exciting, but it could be exciting all summer, and they could come out, and if they're flat in week 1 and they're flat in week 2 and they're flat in week 3, it's going to be very deflating. So now we got to see it all on the field. And the first step in that is training camp. Now we're 18 days away. The first 3 or 4 practices are non-padded. So it's kind of just going to be getting out there, getting used to the motions of training camp. And then after that, it's going to be padded. And that's where I'm kind of looking like, okay, all right, quarterback, show me something. Offense, show me something.
Roshan Johnson, Darnell Wright. Now it's time for you to go to work. Now it's time to punch in. Yes.
Now, now the trenches, they're actually hitting each other down there and going full speed. Now it's time to see something because, mini camp OTAs, you can get judgment and evaluations. I do think there's stock in that. But at the same time, it's not as much as a training camp session. So, that's what I'm excited for. I'm excited to kind of actually see this thing get going, and let's see where we're at. And I want to caution, either way, if they come out and they look great in training camp, it doesn't mean they're going to look great the whole regular season. If they look bad in training camp, it doesn't mean they're going to look bad the whole regular season. You know what I mean? It's just kind of have to take it as we go.
Yeah, we are. And you know what? And it means you're right. In shorts and a T-shirt or shorts in your Gazoo helmets, all right, it's nice, it's something to talk about, something to get excited about. But for me, it's deeper than that. To me, it's Justin Fields not having to learn a new offense. All right, it's Darnell Mooney, Cole Kmet, EQ St. Brown. Well, he actually knew the offense from before. Chase Claypool, all these guys not having to learn a new offense again. Robert Tonyan, all right, offense he just ran recently. So the fact that, to me, that's what I'm excited about. That's what I'm really, really excited. Khalil Herbert not having to learn new, you know what I mean? Like now you have familiarity with a lot of your linemen, even though you got some new ones, you still have some familiarity. That's where I'm excited. That's where Justin Fields now can get coached in this as opposed to learn this offense. So that's where I'm really excited because everything I'm hearing from, I talked to DJ Moore. I worked his camp a couple weeks ago, and I was talking with him, and I was like, "Hey man," I was like, "How's Justin, man? It's like, dude, he's a leader. He's a leader. Like he's got, he didn't come out and say we're gonna eat, we're gonna dominate this year, but I just by the look in his eye and like I could feel it. Like he's excited about this type of thing. So for me, Zach, that's the most important thing to me. So talk to me about Justin Fields, since he is kind of important to this team, I guess. Talk to me about your expectations for him now that it's his team. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. There's no veterans, there's no anyone else. This is his team. He's gotten these guys together in the offseason. They're at the Drake concert 2 nights ago. I mean, he's doing everything that a quarterback should be doing.
Yeah, I mean, he's the single most important player on this team. I mean, if he's bad, the Bears are going to be bad. That's just bottom line. If he's good, I think the Bears are going to be good. So as obvious as that is to say, yeah, I mean, this is an interesting off-season for him. I'll say that because, like you said, he is the leader. He's going in. It's not his first full year as a starter because he was going to be the starter last year. But last year, he had to learn the new playbook. They had to learn the new offensive system, all that stuff. This year, they got a year experience. They got him a weapon in DJ Moore. They went out and got Robert Tonyan. They went out and got a couple more running backs. They tried to boost the offensive line, trying to reshuffle that. They added the defense. They're building around him. In terms of leadership, I think that was a big positive in OTAs and minicamp. We heard it from multiple different players. Cole Kmet, DJ Moore said it. I think a couple of the defensive guys even mentioned how like that connection to DJ Moore is there and how Fields is kind of becoming a leader. But in training camp, like I said, I want to see it on the field because it wasn't a bad OTA minicamp. It wasn't a good one for them. And there's a lot of factors in that for the offense. They didn't have Darnell Mooney. Chase Claypool missed most of it. I'd say like 90% of it. Obviously, they're going up against a solid secondary. But at the same time, like on 7-on-7s, in my opinion, I saw too many balls on the ground, and that shouldn't be happening. because there's no pass rush. You know what I mean? It's 7-on-7. It's DBs, it's linebackers, it's wide receivers, tight ends. Now, I'm not saying that they were awful. It's just I thought that was kind of a negative. I didn't really want to see that the football hit the ground as much. The positives were good. They closed it out the final day. Red zone, everyone got involved. Dante Pettis had 2 nice catches on adjustments. DJ Moore, the entire time, was Fields' go-to target, which they connected all the time. And then you saw guys like Cole Kmet and Robert Tonyan kind of step up. So there was good, there was bad. Now, as we've been talking, we're going to get to see it in pads, and we're going to get to see it full speed, this offense against that defense. And that's what I'm kind of looking for. Obviously, you're looking at Justin Fields, but I'm looking at these wide receivers against the secondary. Who's going to get open besides DJ Moore? How does Darnell Mooney look? Is Chase Claypool going to be ready? If those 2 guys aren't ready, it's going to open up chances for Dante Pettis. It's going to open up chances for EQ St. Brown, Tyler Scott, Velus Jones. Can they get open, though? Because like I said, it's different when the pads come on in training camp.
Yeah, it is. And you know what? Because there's a lot of people, everybody's fighting for a job. And that's it's go, to borrow this thing from Seinfeld, it's go time from the Mandelbaums.
It's 2 Seinfeld references.
Dude, I'm a Seinfeld freak. I love it. And I'm looking forward to it. My understanding from my people up there, Velus Jones hasn't dropped a damn thing. And
he's been pretty good.
He's looked good. Yeah. And you know why? Because there's competition, because he realizes it, because they just got another burner. He was thinking, okay, I'll ease my way. I'll do better this year. And all of a sudden they drafted Scott. He's like, oh shit, I can't do better. I got to be really good, because this Scott dude, we talked before, like every single highlight I saw of him, he's running away from people. He's wide open, or he's 3 or 4 yards past the DB. Like, this dude got some real purse snatching speed, man. And that's going to be great when you got all guys running 4.4 or better in that receiving core.
Yeah.
Talk to me about for Velus Jones. Where's his niche? Right? Is he going to be the slot, the crosser, and kick returns, or is he going to be a deep threat? What's his niche going to be? Because every wide receiver can't run every route, or they're not good at every route. You got to find the niche. What do you think his niche is going to be?
Yeah, and to kind of expand on your point a little bit, like, he got an opportunity too in OTAs and minicamp without Darnell Mooney and Chase Claypool there. All of a sudden, he moves up 2 spots, so that was big for him too. And I liked what I saw from him. I actually had him as one of my standouts during those sessions. In terms of where he fits, I think we're gonna go into the season. We're gonna look. Okay, you have the burner and Tyler Scott. You have Velus Jones, who has great speed. Can they kind of use Velus Jones? And I don't want to use gadget, because I don't know. I kind of hate that term of gadget
I got you.
player. Yeah, because I like Deebo Samuel. You call him a gadget player, but he's a really good wide receiver. He's a really good running back too. He's really good. So I think they could use him in that stuff. End arounds, quick screens, maybe try to get some mismatches, because now you got a guy like DJ Moore who's going to attract attention. And if Chase Claypool and Darnell Mooney are out there, they're going to attract attention. Maybe it leaves a spot open for Velus to be matched up on a linebacker or a safety that he can beat. I think the key for him, man, it's probably going to be special teams. He's been working as a punt returner out there. I did not see him drop anything. I think he bobbled one in the limited practices we saw. Still caught it, but he's looked pretty good. Now, how many wide receivers are they going to carry? Is it going to come down to Dante Pettis, EQ St. Brown, and Velus? If it does, I think you would take the special teams factor in that. And I think that's probably where Velus and Dante Pettis would have the upper hand on someone like St. Brown. I think they can use him kind of as like a quote unquote weapon, in terms of let's get him into open space. Let's do some, quick routes for him. Maybe we'll open up some things deep down the field if we can get the matchup. Let's see what he's got on special teams. Maybe we'll line him up in the backfield a couple times. We just really don't know, but I think that's kind of his role is going to be that quote unquote, like I said, gadget type guy moving forward. And like you said, there's competition. They got a burner now in Tyler Scott. We also have to remember, Tyler Scott's still a rookie. It's not like he's going to come in right away and explode. I mean, if he did, it'd be great. It could happen, but it might take him some time too. So, yeah, I think Velus is in a better spot this year than where he was, last season.
Guys, we're joined by Zach Pearson from BearReport.com talking Chicago Bears football right here on Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. I would love to see Velus and Tyler Scott in the slots. All right, and then use the pick, rub route, whatever concept that you want to call it, that Green Bay is known for, the one that that kept getting, Randall Cobb and Jordy open all the time. Get those guys.
The one that they never get called for penalties.
Yeah, those that one exactly.
Hey, more power to them. If you can get away with it, it's great. I mean, it kind of feels like to me the Bears have tried to do those things. It feels like every time they just get called for it for whatever reason.
Yeah,
but if they can get away with it,
because now you got two guys. Because God help whoever's chasing those two guys.
Yeah.
I mean, remember last year I asked you, I said, how does Velus Jones' speed look out there? And you're like, oh, you could tell he's got another gear. Tyler Scott, same thing now. You said the same thing this year about that dude as well. Imagine those two guys going to rub route and one DB loses a step. Justin hits that joker in stride. Yeah, hit that sucker in stride. Guess what? Beep, beep. Help. That's what the DB is going to be saying. And that's a quick 10 to 20, maybe even 30 yards gain. That's what I want to see, that with him on the offense. And you can just keep rotating him in. I like it. Talk to me about this offensive line. Now you got to see him in OTAs. Darnell Moore, again, I understand, Gazoo helmets and shorts, fine. Yeah. But how did that line look to you? Like, did it feel good to you with him, Nash, all right, white hair, Tevin Jenkins, and our guy Braxton Jones?
Yeah, it's tough sometimes because, like I said, like you mentioned it, they're in the no pads and stuff like that. But at the same time, the defensive line is still rushing, and I think, excuse me, it was kind of a mixture of both. There was a couple of days where the offensive line, the defensive line definitely won the day in terms of the reps, 11-on-11s. I forgot the guy's name, former Alabama player. He had a big
Terrell
day.
Lewis.
Yes, Terrell Lewis.
That's my guy, man. That's my key signing. Yes.
He had a big day, and he beat Darnell Wright a couple of times, went right around him. That was a little concerning. I wouldn't panic, though. Like I said, we're going to see when the pads come on. If they're consistently getting beat out there, I'd worry. But I think this OTAs and minicamp was more of just, all right, let's put our unit out there. Let's see if they can gel. Let's get the communication going. It's important. I mean, not only blocking or anything but it's important to know who's next to you on that offensive line. You have to be comfortable with a guy next to you on the offensive line, especially with assignments and all that stuff. So I think that was important to kind of get that down. Nate Davis missed a couple practices, finally, showed up. That was good to get him back. I think they're going to be fine up the middle with Cody Whitehair. I don't have a problem with him at center. I think they'll just try it this year, see if it works. If not, they can replace him. My eyes, it's probably better to go with a veteran like that than throw in a rookie or someone without experience, especially if you're relying on Justin Fields a lot and things like that. But, obviously they invested money in the offensive line with Nate Davis on that right side. They invested a high draft pick in Darnell Wright on that right side. They moved Tevin Jenkins to the left. They're comfortable with Braxton Jones on the left. It's going to be interesting to see what the chemistry is like and how they are when those first padded practices come on. Because, let's be real. This defensive line last year really struggled. They were one of the worst defensive lines in football in terms of sacks, pressures, hurries.
You could say they suck, Zach. You could say they suck.
Yeah, they were bad. Now, they got a couple guys. But honestly, like if I were to ask you right now, what is the better unit? I think we'd both say offensive line at this point between the two.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's fair to say.
I agree. Yes.
Yeah. So if they're,
but it doesn't mean that the defensive line can get better. And here's why.
Exactly.
They got a couple signings on Walker and Billings. Is it? Yeah, Billings.
Yeah, Andrew Billings.
All right. But then you also did the drafting of Yvonne Dexter and Zach with 2 C's, Pickens. All right. And then Trey, the kid out of Kennesaw State, Bell. You added some young, hungry players. And so as on paper right now, the offensive line, I would say, is better, but that might not hold up after training camp because you guys, the one thing that I liked about all the guys that they had, they are relentless.
Yeah.
They literally are freaking relentless. Like they are coming. Dude. They are coming. And like even my guy Noah Sewell, we'll talk about the linebackers in a second. Like Noah Sewell, man, he's that dude that he's not going to be the first dude to make the tackle. He's not that fast. but don't cut back one too many times because he's going to ear hole your ass. And no, trust me, let me tell you, from 1 or 2 ear holes in my life, those are not fun. Those are not fun. Okay, so he's that dude coming. That you have to know. If someone has you tug once, tug twice, drop to the ground because somebody's coming. And that's what I like about this team is they are savages. I like that. They are savages toward the ball. And that's exciting.
It should be a good test, too, if the offensive line as camp goes on. I think early on, the offensive line should win a lot of those battles, but we'll see. I mean, like I said, I wouldn't be too concerned about the offensive line just yet. I think, I think they'll be fine. They're just trying to get chemistry down, and they're young, too. I mean, you look, 3 positions are really young, and then you got 2 veterans to kind of stabilize it as well.
Yeah, so you mentioned Terrell Lewis. Dude, that excites me. Dude, I like him a lot. I think that could be one of the biggest under the radar signings, not just for the Bears, but in football, because that dude was a stud coming out of Alabama. That's why he's a first round pick. He just injuries hampered him. Excuse me. And if he can get back to being healthy, I'm not putting him in the Richard Dent or Lawrence Taylor conversation. I'm just saying he's going to give us one hell of a nice pass rush, an upgraded pass rush off the edge, and that's going to be huge because I think we've done a good job of upgrading the middle. And again, not putting the interior with the purple people eaters or the 85 Bears by any stretch, but it's going to be better. And if you can't step up as a quarterback, you can't follow through because there's a helmet there, there's a 320-pound guy there. It alters your throws big time, and that's where the secondary comes in, who is probably the strength of the team. Not probably. Let me take that back. Who was the strength of the team last year, especially at the end. Talk to me about that group now with Tyreek Stevenson, with the kid out of Minnesota. Talk to me about that and how you think they're going to do this year with an upgraded, at least on paper, pass rush.
Yeah, looking last year, that secondary is more of like the eye test. Like, okay, do you watch the games? Because the stats will say they probably weren't great, but you also have to look at the factors. Like the defensive line was getting no pressure at all up front, and quarterbacks had all day to throw. They went up against some really damn good wide receivers. Same time, they held their own back there. I mean, there's a lot of talent in that secondary. I agree. I think it is their strength. I think looking at them, now you have Jalen Johnson on the outside. Tyler Gordon's going to move into the inside, which I think is actually his best fit. And then you have Tyreek Stevenson on the outside, who's probably going to win that job. I'd be shocked if, Kendall Vildor or Jalen Jones or anyone like that kind of beats him out.
Right.
And then you're getting Eddie Jackson back healthy. And we saw last year, it's a different Eddie Jackson. I think that speaks a lot to him getting back, busting his ass to get back. And get back on the field. And, he was a holdover from the Pace era. And the Bears could have very well said, look, we're going to move on from you. We'll let you go. We'll eat the salary, all this. They gave him a chance, and I think he responded. I think it helped with Jaquan Brisker. And I also thought it was interesting looking at those two. They've Brisker talked about it a little bit too. They've been kind of interchanging him a little bit. Like Jackson's played a little strong safety. Brisker's played a little free safety. They put Brisker up in the box on blitzes, rundowns, things like that. I think that's a good idea. I think having both those guys that can play both is good. Now, obviously, I think Brisker is a way better strong safety. I think Jackson's a way better free safety. And we'll have to see with this injury because, free safety, you're backpedaling a lot. You can't let guys get behind you. You're ranging. You got a lot of area to cover. Hopefully that ankle can hold up for him. But yeah, I like this unit. I like the depth too, man. I think you look, even, if Kendall Vildor doesn't win the job, that's not a terrible backup if someone goes down. He's got experience, number one. You have Jalen Jones, who's got experience. He's good on special teams. I'm forgetting his name. The kid out of Duke last year, he came from Philadelphia. I'm blanking on his name. But anyway, they got some depth that they can rely on. But yeah, this secondary, if that defensive line can just get any sort of pressure and just limit the amount of time that the secondary has to cover on each play, I think this defense could just get way better as a whole. I think that defensive line is going to be the big key for me.
Yeah, one thing that we haven't talked in how important is those linebackers, especially Tremaine Edmonds. Right, we haven't seen anything like this, a linebacker like this, since Urlacher, who can cover that deep middle. I mean, granted, we were in a 3-4 for a while, so that point was moot. But nonetheless, we were back in a 4-3, and we had a guy who can run down the field with tight ends. So that throw over the linebacker in front of the safety, that's a much tighter window now. That's a much tighter window when you got a 6'5" guy who's long and athletic, and you're trying to fit that in over him, in front of Eddie Jackson, or in front of Jaquan Brisker. Dude, I wasn't even thinking about that. In front of Jaquan Brisker. You and I both, we've seen him. He likes to dislocate or separate receiver from ball. So you want to do that to your wide receiver or your tight end? Yeah, not a good thing, because when he wakes up out of his coma, he can be cussing out his quarterback if he remembers where he's at. So that defense got so much better by the addition of the two signings of the linebackers. But talk to me about that linebacker position. Now there's a lot of competition there. You got those two guys. You still got the jackhammer himself, Jack Sanborn. You drafted Noah Sewell. Talk to me about those guys, and is that going to be that competition for that Noah Sewell versus the jackhammer?
Yeah. So Cornelius has it right. It's Josh Blackwell. That's the DB I was talking about. So thank you for that. That's obviously Edmonds is going to be a starter. Edwards is going to be a starter. We know that, barring injuries. So yeah, that's the battle right there. It's going to be Jack Sanborn. It's going to be Noah Sewell at the strong side there. A guy like Dylan Cole is probably someone to keep an eye on. Came over from Tennessee. That's going to be the position battle to watch for linebacker. And I think Noah Sewell's going to come out and impressed. He's getting his chance with Jack Sanborn missing time. I don't know where Jack Sanborn's at with his rehab and recovery. He's been out there, not practicing, but he's out there with the team at least. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, I like what I've seen from Noah Sewell. I think, he's not the fastest guy. He probably could use some work and coverage, but he's kind of got that old school type mentality where, he's going to hit you. When he closes, he's going to close with authority. He's probably better at run defense. So we'll kind of have to keep an eye on that. But I'll be interested to see that, because that's a battle for a position where, I think the Bears are going to be in a lot of nickel, just due to the formations and all that. And so you have to take a linebacker pretty much off the field in that situation. But still, you upgraded. I think you upgraded. You got Edmonds, and I'm not saying Edmonds is better than Roquan or anything like that, but I think you upgraded at another spot with Edwards. You got a guy who I think is really good in Tremaine Edmonds, and now maybe you found a diamond in the rough with Noah Sewell as a rookie. But yeah, that's gonna be a battle. I'd keep an eye. Sewell, Sanborn, and Dylan Cole is the other one that are kind of in the mix for that spot.
Talk to me about using Sewell. I know he'll probably be special team get a lot of special team reps, which is cool. All right, hey, believe me, that shit, those checks cash too. We're playing special teams; those checks cash as well. But talk to me about him, because he's played before he came out. He was a mid to late first round pick, maybe early second prior year. Then they had a coaching change, a scheme change in that. So he did basically what all the Bears did last year, got adjusted to a new scheme. So he wasn't as productive as he was his prior year. Okay, which is great for us, because we know they look at it like, okay, this is what this guy can do. Talk to me about having him as, you think they're going to use him as a special rusher, because he's come off the edge. He's blitzed off the edge. You think they could use him in a special like novelty, like a NASCAR package, or just, hey, if you feel like this guy's a little quicker than a tackle, right now, throw him in there as stunts. How do you think they might use him as a joker? Because if that's the case, if he's that flexible, man, DC Williams has got to be up at night just giggling his ass off.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. I don't know right away if they'd have any special like packages just for him to come in and blitz off the edge, anything like that. I think we could see it, obvious passing downs, maybe obvious rush downs if the Bears want to blitz on a second and long, anything like that. I could see him definitely coming off the edge. I think we saw a little bit from Jack Sanborn last year on some blitzes. But yeah, no, I think Sewell's got some tools that are intriguing in terms of making plays in the backfield and getting and finding that instinct to get in the backfield, get some pressure. So yeah, I don't know if there'll be specific packages just for him right away. But yeah, I mean, I could see him being if they're sending extra guys, him being one of them. Obviously, Brisker's another candidate for that too. I think it would just have to obviously would have to depend on the situation and down there.
Last question. Well, last couple questions before we let you go, Zach. And as you know, man, I really appreciate your time every time you come on. Coach Eberflus. Well, you know what? We'll always save him for last. These coordinators, how creative are you expecting them to be? You got talent now, Coach Williams. You got depth, Coach Williams. You got a lot of and I'm not putting them as generational talents. I'm not putting them as all pros, gold jacket. No. I'm saying you got young, talented guys. How creative do you anticipate Coach Williams being on defense with these young, hungry guys who want to make plays?
Yeah, I think they'll be, a little more aggressive maybe too.
Okay, aggressive.
I think you got guys. I mean, they drafted Gervon Dexter. They drafted Zach Pickens. They can switch guys in and out. Justin Jones can play different spots in the line. DeMarcus Walker says he can play different spots in the line. I think that's where we'll see a lot of the aggressiveness, creativity there in terms of rotating guys in and out. We mentioned Andrew Billings, Terrell Lewis as well. We just got done talking about the linebackers.
We didn't even talk Dominique.
Yeah, no, Dominic Robinson, Travis Gibson too. Mm-hmm, so they got some guys they can be aggressive with, move around a little bit. And I think those guys can pretty much be interchangeable. Like I think Zach Pickens and Gervon Dexter could switch the different techniques if they needed to. So that'd be kind of something to keep an eye on. I think we're going to see a lot of different packages too. Like I think we're going to see, maybe one couple reps we'll see Dexter, Pickens, Jones, and Walker, and maybe another we'll see Dexter, Pickens, Gibson, Bill. We'll see a lot of different combinations out there. So I think more the defensive side, we'll see a little more aggressiveness, probably in the defensive line. I still don't think they're going to blitz a lot as much as
try and get home with 4.
Yeah, they're going to try and get home with 4. Maybe send a safety or linebacker off the edge, but I think there's going to be a lot in nickel too. I think that's going to be key as well.
So Luke Getsy has tons of talent. How creative do you anticipate him being? Because now we talked about it earlier, you got a quarterback and most of the receivers who aren't having to learn this offense now.
Yeah.
They've learned it. They can be coached. They're actually working on it now. Everyone except Chase Claypool, but we'll mention that later. How creative do you think he's going to be? He's got some backup offensive linemen who are fighting for spots. You got Leatherwood. You got Gabe Huey, the kid out of Pitt. You still have the Tyree Carter. You've got a lot of linemen. Do you see him getting really, really creative with this offense because you have weapons, you have 3 running backs. We didn't even talk about the running backs. You got 3 stud running backs. You got a much greatly upgraded wide receiver room, and you got good depth right now on the offensive line. How creative is Luke Getsy? Is he up at night thinking of concocting crazy Statue of Liberty plays?
I wouldn't say like trick plays. No. I think it's more of like we mentioned earlier, like the rubs, the picks. I think we saw it last year too. There was a couple of times where I can't remember the play exactly. It was at Soldier Field. It was the Cole Kmet one. I forgot which game it was. Maybe Lions. Where he just came wide open, and that was a beautiful play. They got everyone pretty much where they needed to be. And Cole Kmet was just wide open, streaking down the field. It's probably one of the easiest touchdowns Justin Fields would have. I think more of that, trying to be creative in terms of getting mismatches and guys open is more what I'd say. I wouldn't come out and expect just tons of trick plays or anything like that. Not yet, especially. I think they still want to be a run-first team in my eyes. They still want to be a outside zone run, get their guys on the edge. I think maybe, the getting players like Velus Jones, DJ Moore, Darnell Mooney, Tyler Scott into the open field or probably be the most or would be my creativity in that way. I just wouldn't expect a lot of trick plays, honestly, or anything like that.
I'm hoping I see either Gabe Huey or Leatherwood or Tyree Carter. Hell, even Darnell. No, let's keep him there. Have him check them as report as eligible. Put them in motion. Go in 22 personnel. all right, Blasting Game and Rojo or Deontay. I don't think Khalil Herbert's is tough a back. He's good, but one of the other two running backs, and have that dude just go in motion like San Francisco did, like with
Williams.
Yes, dude. I think that dude that got me. I got a chubby. I was excited when I saw you get an offensive lineman with a head start, and you want to trap block a 3 tech or kick out a D end, dude. That stuff like that is what excites me to no end. And if the Bears, and not all the time, but on short yardage plays, like you have a package, like these dudes are going, like, and everybody in the stadium, all 60,000 people know it, and so do you. But you know what? Stop it, because you got a guy 300 pounds in motion coming off a 280-pound defensive end or a 300-pound 3 technique who's basically just coming off the line. Yeah, that's the collision that chances are the guy in motion is going to win more often than not. And stuff like that, 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, man, that sets the tone, not just for that play and keeping that drive alive, but that sets the tone for your team and lets the other team know you're in for a long freaking day.
Yeah, it was even better when they did it against Green Bay in the playoffs, too. It was pretty fun to watch. Yeah, no, I mean, that gets everyone fired up, too. Like, I think I saw George Kittle did an interview, and he was talking about, like, lining up, and he saw Trent Williams go in motion. He knew it was coming, and Trent, like, he got in front of Trent Williams, and Williams blocked someone into him, and he was on the ground, and he looked up, and it was the defender and Trent Williams on him. And myself, I'd probably be in the hospital or anything, something like that. But he was like, I'm fired up. It was awesome. So, yeah, I mean, we could see that stuff, short yardage. It wouldn't really surprise me at all. I wish more teams would do that, especially in short yardage. I think it's an advantage. I mean, now we're seeing, obviously, with Philadelphia's doing the whole quarterback sneak thing, which is new. I'm shocked. I am honestly shocked they have not put in like a rule for that yet. It just seems too obvious. But yeah, I wish more teams would do that stuff on short yardage. We're getting the big offensive lineman in the backfield or the fullback. I mean, the Bears have the personnel for it, so why not?
Last question before we go. I let you go, man, and I appreciate you coming on. And guys, don't forget we're talking with my guy Zach Pearson from Chicago Bear from BearReport.com, talking Bears. Chase Claypool, my guy Nomad, is going to get off this year. Mark my words. Are you concerned that I have not seen Chase Claypool working out? And I'm not saying he's not working out. I'm not saying he's not doing what he's supposed to do. I'm just saying the optics for me bother me. All right, he's in Paris, on runway, which I really don't give a shit. You know what? You got money, cool. You got other side hustles and stuff, great. But remember what butters your bread, and that's football. And I haven't seen a lot of him, working out with Justin Fields or talking about Justin Fields. I hear about him at the Drake concert, hear about him in, across the pond modeling some weird outfits or whatever, but I don't see or hear about him working out at Maine South with Justin and Claypool and Komet and DJ Moore. Does that bother you? Because that bugs the shit out of me, and I'm not too happy about it.
No, not really, because I look at it this way. For what I've been told and what Matt Eberflus has said, it's all soft tissue, and he's dealing with something else. I don't know what the other injury is. I think they said it was soft tissue first. Then at the end of minicamp OTAs, Eberflus brought up he has other injuries. I don't know what the other injuries are. Maybe it is coach talk. Maybe it's true. I have to believe at this point Matt Eberflus, because that's the only person that we can talk to. I don't think so. I think, from what I understand is they want to get him fully healthy for training camp.
Okay.
I don't have experience with soft tissue injuries. I have no idea how that works. I don't know if you can re-aggravate stuff like I have no idea. That's just my understanding of it. So no, I'm not too worried, because I think, when you look at the overseas stuff, I think so. You mentioned it was at the Drake. I didn't see them at the Drake concert. I didn't even know Drake was in town. Honestly. Yeah, I had no idea. I honestly had no idea. So no, but I do know Claypool was overseas, I think, for a month, and I know he was doing the Paris stuff, which was all over social media. But he was also over there, I think, for 2 weeks doing like football camps, because I think he did he's the I don't want to botch it. He's the Bears overseas ambassador or something. Like they pick a player every year to do that.
Right.
So I understand. I understand the overseas stuff. I don't know why he was on the Maine South practice field. I have no answer for that. I'm guessing that that came out the other day. I'm guessing that was the other day. It wasn't in the past. So yeah, to me, it doesn't bother me too much. Now, if he's missing time in training camp, I'd be a little worried because, okay, got to get healthy. You got to get on the field. We got to see you. You're in a contract year. So yeah, I know. But I mean, it's an interesting situation because, there's reports out. I think it was Waddle and Sylvie that, there's Bears are not happy with it.
Yeah.
There's reports that he is on. It's an interesting situation, to be honest.
It really is.
I don't know what to think of it, honestly. It's crazy.
Dude, you're right, because Waddle and Sylvie talked about it, and then you get other reports and they're saying that they're happy with what he's doing. So, it's your guess is as good as mine. And I hope, and here's the reason it bothered me, Zach. And trust me, I don't care if it's the off season, you go get your money, you do what you can, by all means. All right. If that opens up another door for you, modeling after your football career is over, great. Okay. But remember what got you that modeling gig and a lot of these side hustles, all right? It's the fact that you're a football player, all right? That's the fact that because you, just like these broadcasters who get, these guys, these analysts, the fact that you played football gives you a head up over a guy coming out of broadcast school, okay? Or out of getting a master's from Northwestern, all right? That takes precedence. So don't bite the hand that feeds you. Don't neglect the person or the thing that got you there, all right? I just want to see him physically. The eye test for me, like I said, if he was in overseas doing all that shit in December, January, February, March, April, cool, no problem, not a problem. But now your boys are here, and you see all the other wide receivers. That's where you saw the picture of Darnell Mooney all yoked up. I'm like, okay, son, okay, all right, you been pumping some iron. Cole Kmet, DJ Moore, all right, these are the guys he's throwing to. And if you and I both remember last year, Cole Kmet had his best season. All right, yeah. Darnell Mooney was on the way and looked to be having probably his best season before he got hurt. There's a lot to be said for partnering and working with your quarterback, and the fact that I didn't see him bothered me. Even if even if you couldn't practice, even if you're going light, half-ass, half speed because maybe your hamstring's a little sore. Okay, cool. Just be there is my thing, and that's what bothered me. That just it may not mean anything in the long run at all. He may come in, catch 600-800 yards, close to 1,000 yards, whatever. But just right now, it bothered me because I'm like, you need to say, hey, it is a contract year. I need to be present with my guy. So Justin likes throwing to me because he didn't throw to him as much as I thought he would last year.
Yeah, last year, yeah. Oh, there's still a couple weeks left. I mean, I know they're supposed to go to, California, or Florida. I forgot which one. I think it's Florida. It's either Florida, Atlanta, or California. But there's supposed to be wide receivers and quarterbacks, so I'm sure we'll get some social stuff on that. We'll see. I don't know. I don't know if Claypool's going or not. Every time Fields has been asked about it, I think he just says wide receivers and tight ends. So I have no idea who's going to be there, but we'll see. I mean, it's going to be interesting for Claypool. He's going to be someone you have to keep an eye on in training camp too, especially if he's not out there right away. It's a little concerning.
Yeah, Zach, great stuff, buddy. I appreciate it as always. Do me a favor before you go. Let everyone know where they can find you and your work online.
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at Zach, ZACK_Pearson, and then you can just read my work on BearReport.com and follow Bear Report on Twitter. It's just Bear Report it's just Bear Report on Twitter. That's all it is.
Great stuff, Bob. I appreciate it. You have a good weekend. All right, thank you.
You too. Take it easy.
All righty. Guys, that's Zach Pearson from BearReport.com. Talking Bears got me fired up. The hair on my arms is, I'm excited. I'm fired up. I'm geeked. Whew. Listen, we're going to take a quick break. Man, it's the final break of the show, final break of the week, of the short holiday week. Man, it went by fast. So we're going to take a quick break and just wrap it up. So don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it locked right here. Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago.
Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
Time out. How are you feeling right now? Happy? Excited? Angry? Overwhelmed? One of the best things you can do for your mind health is to name what you're feeling. It can sharpen your awareness and help you talk about your feelings with someone you trust. Here are 3 questions to ask yourself. Where are your thoughts right now? In the past, the present, the future? Do you notice any sensations in your body? Is your heart beating fast? Is there a flutter in your stomach? Or are you fully relaxed? What do you need right now? Time with others? Time to yourself? Remember, there's power in this awareness. So find ways to identify what you're feeling today.
At a time when the news seems as subjective as the partisan politics dividing this country, independent professional journalism has become a resource people need to get the honest and accurate information for their lives. That's why I created JQuinnReports.com. As a born and raised Chicagoan, I know this city better than anyone. So my investigative stories are all original, and they'll go deeper to expose the truth by using information obtained from public information databases and in-depth interviews with the movers and shakers. My future stories will introduce you to people and businesses who are changing the world, not just Chicago. My missing person stories will spotlight those who you don't hear about in the mainstream media, who are often overlooked. If you want to hear my personal views on things around the world, check out my blog site, which is based off of factual information and my life experiences. There's also past episodes of my weekly sports podcast show, What's Up Cuz, that I host with my real-life cousin, Lance Urban. So if you're looking for all this information and more, check out jcoynereports.com and follow me on Twitter at jcoyne.
Every day, we take steps to keep the people we love safe, but some health risks are easy to miss. Ticks hiding in the yard can spread germs, like the ones that cause Lyme disease. Mice searching for food can spread bacteria that makes us sick. Mosquitoes lay eggs in standing water and can spread West Nile virus and more. Cockroaches are drawn to water in the home, leaving behind allergens that can trigger asthma attacks. Common pests can threaten our health. Learn how to protect your family at pestworld.org.
Swinging a fly ball out into medium depth right. Colas getting behind it. He'll make the catch. Chapman's going to tag. And head to third. The throw there is in time. Colas nails Chapman.
Junior with a man aboard. First pitch swinging to Tim. Jump throw. Remolart's turn, and it's two. Nicely done by T.
And he swings and hits a deep drive to right. It is gone. Two-run homer, Eloy Jimenez. Well, they didn't tell him.
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning at Sports Zone Chicago. Those clips courtesy of NBC Sports Chicago. I hit the wrong button. I was supposed to play the Cubs highlights for all my Cub fans because I know they'd be getting upset and shit. So, you know what? We'll give you a little something, Cub fans, just because I know you're upset.
That's drilled center field. Going back is Weimer at the wall. And it's back into the field to play. Morrell into second. Ripped to right. Fair ball into the corner. And that's going to score Morrell. Belly showing off the slug. He's into second. And it is 1-0 Cubs. Horner takes off. So does Happ. Double steal. And they're both safe. In the air, right field, well struck. That one back. That one on its way, and it's gone. Cody Bellinger. A two-run homer, and the Cubs are within one.
Oh, welcome back. As I said, those clips courtesy of Marquee Network for all my Cub fans. All right, just gave you a little something. Although the Cubs were on the losing end yesterday, although they only lost once. My White Sox lost twice. I just got off with our guy, Zach Pearson from BearReport.com. I can't tell you how excited I am. All right, I've been doing a good job of it. I've been enjoying it. I'm still waiting on a move, though. I'm still waiting on a move for a defensive end, for an edge rusher. He talked about Terrell Lewis looking good, a couple of plays and OTAs. Good. I hope he's healthy. I hope he gives us one option. Okay. But I would like to get a young pass rusher. You know, Yannick Ngakoue is the guy that I'd like. I think would fit perfectly. But then again, so we had was it Abdul Muhammad last year? Okay, well, that didn't work out very or as well as we would have liked. So there's a lot. Here's the thing: there's a lot of free agents out there. There are tons of free agents out there. Okay, and interesting that they're available. Okay, edge rushers, running back, Dalvin Cook and DeAndre Hopkins are still out there. Okay, so there's a lot of talented players. Guys who are probably just saying, hey, you know what? Let me just get to a training camp. As training camp starts, as it winds down to training camp, we'll see. Yeah, I'm excited. Well, Nomad, you're saying wait and see what the pads reveal before I move at the end. Well, what you don't have to. Just because you sign a person doesn't you can cut them. You can cut them. Like if you're getting the same, say you sign a guy for, 2 years, 15 mil, 5 guaranteed or 3 guaranteed, or whatever, and you see that the guy that people that you have there are playing just as good, are performing just as well, you can cut them. Say, hey, we're not going to eat that. We're not going to take that loss. So you can bring them in. It doesn't mean you make the roster. So bring in as many people as you can, quality people. That Brandon, be nice. Coming from the left coast, he's hanging on the west coast. I wouldn't doubt that at all. I would actually probably say that's what he's doing. All right, we've seen him be extremely fiscal. Okay, all right, with his money, with the Bears' money, just not sell. And here's the thing: as time draws closer, veterans get antsy. All right, I don't know if you guys are millionaires or not, but you have a lifestyle to lead. Okay. Warren Sapp said it best years ago. It was an interview with him, and it was a round table, him, Urlacher, and he was saying, every year, there's another mouth to feed. Every year. He goes, it could be another child, it could be a parent, it could be somebody else, but every year there's another mouth to feed. So you're going to have guys who need to start getting paid. And they say, hey, listen, maybe I'm not going to make $8 million. Maybe I can only make $4 million. I'll take the $4 million. So that doesn't surprise me at all, Brandon, if that's what he's doing. So good move on him, being patient, making everybody else sweat. Awesome. Oh, man. 2 hours has come and gone. I know usually we go – it's weird. Like I'm getting ready for Bears talk usually now, but because baseball season's here, it's just kind of slow with both teams being really, really horrible. Remember, that's why we cut it to 2 hours. So, man, I want to thank all my guys, Steve Weekly, for getting me all my clips. Elliot Baez, our executive producer, Clarence Council III, our social media guy, and my co-host in absentia, Maya Kai. Hope we entertained you and gave you a little bit of a break from reality. All right, we're going to take a little break, a 70-hour break. We had to take an extra hour. 70-hour break. We'll see you guys on Monday. Same bat time, same bat channel, 9 a.m. to noon Central Standard Time. So for Steve, for Elliot, for Clarence, and for my girl Maya Kai, Shawn here. Have a phenomenal weekend. Okay, it's going to be beautiful here in Chicago. A little cool, and perfect. All right, folks. Have a great weekend. I'm out.